heater. I'm very excited to be part of this launch. I would like first to apologize on behalf of Prof. Noyo, who wasn't able to be part of this launch due to her many commitments that put our way. I'm sure she would have loved to be here. Also, I apologize for Dr. Martin, the TBC for people in operations. This is a special occasion indeed for DUT. DUT is quickly moving towards improving many processes that have, for decades, been paper-driven. Imagine the pain of printing an Excel spreadsheet and manually trying to make sense of all of the data. So we're trying to move away from all of those older processes into where we are analyzing data using tools such as Power Heater. Power Heater is one of the projects that were part of the 2018 DUT strategic priority projects. And due to all of the hard work of a number of people, it has actually shot to the top where today it's being launched and introduced to the rest of the university. It's also important that we mention that the project was also helped by the Kersky Foundation bonus grant, and DUT is very grateful for that grant. It's also worth noting that there are other universities who have embarked on the data warehouse project, and they started much sooner than DUT, but they still haven't gone live yet. So thanks again to all of the hard work that has been done by a number of people. So who are the people who work on this project? So I'm going to call them individually. If you get your name called, can you please stay for a second so that the rest of us can see who you are. So this project was driven to completion by the Siapumelera data group. The area is shown in the booth over there. So the following members of the Siapumelera data working group are Mr. Sagren Woodley from the library. There's Sagren. Thank you. Mr. Sean Carter. Mr. Rajan Naika from MI. Ms. Prabhashni Kirsten from MI. Ms. Nikki Mueller. Dr. Ku Parker from the Project. Mr. Ashton Mahari from the Project. And also from ITSS, Ms. Shamila Ishwa Kumar. Where's Shamila? Oh, she's back there. And then Mr. Ashen Naika. Shamila and Ashton Nashen joined the ITSS working group this year, and they were very helpful in terms of the provisioning of the environment where the Power Heater is currently running. And then Shamila also helped with the creation of the views that allows the Power Heater tool to actually extract live data from ITS. And also Mr. Terence Yeni, who was a contract project manager. A few facts about the importance of this project and how it set a high bar for how projects actually should be completed and should be managed. It actually, from the way the day the contract was signed off, it took about 20 days to actually get it up and actually going. So just give a hand to all of those who think that happened. Interestingly, if you look at the vendor that implemented the software, one of the, exchanging some of the emails, one of the managers indicated that some of the things that made the project to be so successful was that there was very clear focus from the beginning as to what we wanted to achieve. And the other one was there was excellent collaboration across all of the different departments, because as you will find out, that Power Healer is actually extracting data that comes from all of the various different departments. And then the third thing was there was excellent project management for this project. Again, thank you very much for coming.
Good afternoon, colleagues. My role is a very short one, just to give you an overview of the Department of Management Information. So basically, if you look at the Department of Management Information, apart from the statutory reporting requirements that we fulfill, we became the central point for student and staff data provisioning. So basically, executives and department heads are unable to have access to data without the mediation of the MI department. So we had to go and extract data from our Valpac EMIS software, and which we enriched it with the information that we generated from the ITS Oracle database, and we generate information reports according to requested information formats for all our stakeholders. For the reporting year 2018, you see, apart from these normal reports that we provide to our stakeholders, we provided an additional 526 reports. So some of the data that we provide in terms of student and staff are for strategic planning at institutional, faculty and departmental level. And we also focus on tracking and monitoring enrollment targets, enrollments against the targets, and we compare DUT performance indicators against the national benchmarks. There's also quality monitoring at the institutional level, faculty and departmental level, and taking it down to program level as well. We also perform cohort studies to determine the throughput and dropout rates, and we do quite a bit of reports for internal and external program reviews and evaluation. Okay, some of the challenges that we faced in the way that we were currently operating is that there is a lack of data integration. So data is sitting across the institution, some in the production database of ITS. We've got CAL's got its own database. We have the LMS with its own database. We have library with their own database. So there's no integration of data at any central point. So there's limited access to data. People have to go to certain people, either the ITS department or the MI department, to provide information. And there was an absence of a data warehouse, which we now have. Also, there's lack of business intelligence tools, self-service data, real-time reporting, learning and predictive analytics, and there was no warning systems and there was no dashboard. So now we have Power Healer, and we're quite excited. So Power Healer is a higher education data analyzer. It's a BI tool which is used by 22 of the higher education institutions in South Africa to facilitate real-time reporting for strategic planning and for institutional research. It provides an integrated, reliable, and user-friendly tool to produce easily understood business intelligence reports and dashboards. It draws from the live data, ITS database, and it incorporates the EMIS data with the goal of creating greater awareness, support, and to improve student success. Power Healer has the ability to provide an integrated storage and reporting solution for all data available at DUT. So now we become Power MI. We're quite excited about that. We're now empowered with the capability to integrate data from various resources into the data warehouse, to create BI reports, dashboards, and data models, develop BI analytics capacity, provide access to information, and build capacity of staff in the use of data. Okay, so that's the interaction from data sources to management to decision makers. We are launching soon, and it's my privilege to call upon Prabhashni, our MI specialist, to launch Power Healer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Naika. Good afternoon, colleagues. We're very excited to launch Power Healer. This reminds me as part of the show and tell. Roger told you, I'm going to show you what's happening. So, the much awaited Power Healer. So you'll be able to do what you need to do whenever you want to, wherever, without waiting for MI. So that's the URL that you're going to be familiar with and you're going to be using all the time. Now, the launch to power heater. So when you log on to power heater, this is the page that you will see. You'll have to sign in using your DUT password, username and password. It will take you to the dashboards. This is what everybody is waiting for. Dashboards, dashboards, dashboards. You want to have a look at your information wherever you are. You need to make decisions, so you have it. For whichever years you want, whichever faculty you're in, and also institutional. These dashboards are institutional level and can be made available for everyone by faculty as well as by departments. These are our key performance indicators that generally DHET uses to make decisions for our universities as well. So what I'm going to do is show you what our institutional ones are. I know the light is pretty bad. You can see the percentage of African students in the institution is 85.4%. Percentage of female has been growing over the years. So you can toggle between the years and check what the headcount has been. Last year it was 49.9. 2018, it is now grown. There are various dashboards that are available. We have the key performance indicators, which everybody loves because it has a radiogram to tell you how you are performing. The blue is the DHET benchmarks and tells you where DUT features along these benchmarks. We have the years of information as well, so you can toggle between the years to see how we have fared. I know everyone's keen on this particular one, the headcount comparisons. This is live data drawn from our ITS database. So you can have a look at 2018 and 2019 data and the targets we've met. Yes, we may have met the target, but at the end of the day, we have an enrollment plan and it shows you how have you fared against your enrollment plan. So if you're looking at your first-time undergraduates for the year 2019, we've met the target at 91%, we are under. But the overall total we have exceeded, which is 34,000. The plan is 30,000. We have 116% of the target that we've met. So that's the reason why it's colored in red. We have various dashboards with lots of graphical representations. You can either take a photo and paste it in your presentation by just clicking on that. And it'll take a photo of it. And it will keep it for you, and you can use it wherever you need to. So there's your dashboard that you can use in your presentation. Now I'm going to go to the higher education sector key performance indicators. The key performance indicators is what the entire higher education sector is, excluding UNISA, because we know that UNISA figures inflate or sometimes does not show you a true reflection of the higher education sector. You can compare our institution to the higher education sector. Nikki is going to take you to more higher education sector information that is available for you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And thank you, Prabashni. Vice Chancellor, thank you very much for your presence here today. I hope that some of what we've just very briefly been speeding up is making you feel somewhat hopeful that we'll have this kind of information at our fingertips rather than waiting for DHET publications or Council on Higher Education documents. The Vice Chancellor earlier this year sent a number of reports through to both Rajan and myself and said, you know, we need to be highlighting this, we need to be using this to understand how we perform against various other institutions nationally. So I'm just going to take you to a PBS, if I can find it, to a particular dashboard which is called the Peer Data Sharing Dashboard. Now, this looks at things such as success rates, and I'm only going to focus in on success rates, student success rates, and the instructional staff student ratios. There are various ways in which we can look at this. Now, I'm not sure how this has been set up, because when I was preparing for this, I had it on my laptop. But at the moment, I think, okay, so it's showing the Universities of Technology. So it shows how DUT sit rates. Sorry. There are various filters over here where we can choose which institutions we want to look at. But if we look at the student success rate, and I should be using the mouse rather than the pad. If we look at student success rates, this is looking at, okay, we've got UK's in here which I want to take out. If we want to compare ourselves to other universities of technology, we simply click on the relevant filter. We don't want to do this, so that we do want to be UT. This will show us in terms of our success rates, student success rates, how DUT fares in comparison to our other University of Technology institutions. And you can see here the growth in terms of 2010, where DUT is indicated as a success rate, overall success rate of 75.4%. Check our color, which is this green, and how it changes over the years. You can see it visually, but equally as we drag the mouse over, so it indicates the changes to finally in 2018, where you can see that in terms of this particular indicator, DUT is leading the field in the Universities of Technology. Okay. There might be other indicators that we need to look at alongside of this, but this is one particular indicator that you can get quite easily with this particular dashboard. If we go down to the FTE per instructional and research staff member, this is an FTE count, so it's your staff-student ratio. If we look at that again, you can get an indication here how the situation has changed over the years. DUT, the pale green, you can see NUT being quite high up all along, but over the years, just watch how DUT has moved. I think 2012 was our best FTE ratio, where we had one of 28 to 1. Currently, in 2018, we are reporting that we're sitting at 39 to 1. For those of you who are here, you might want to know that we've got a very, very stringent target to reach in terms of our new enrollment plan. We plan to reduce this FTE student staff ratio from its current 39 to 1 to 25 to 1. So that will be better even than what we can show on this particular thing. So we're going to have to monitor this very, very carefully. And then I just quickly want to indicate that we are able as well, even using these filters, to look at, to determine who we want to compare ourselves to. So if we want to look at our regional partners and to see how we're faring against them, we simply just click on the relevant ones, and we're able to see the changing. So I hope that you've seen that as I've been clicking, so for example, the spider, I call it the spider diagram, has been changing. But again here, if we just want to look at, let's take this one of the FTE instructional research in a regional context, how are we performing? We can see NUT is the black, UKZN is the green, DUT is the blue. And just have a look in terms of where we're sitting. So you can see UKZN's performance is actually in this thing very, very strong, or that their pattern has changed. They've remained the most efficient in terms of that particular key performance indicator. But you can get a sense of our regional competitors, how in this particular KPI we are performing. Colleagues, I don't have time to go into much more, but I hope this is getting the sense of the feel and the strength of this particular tool in the ways we'll be able to compare ourselves nationally and choosing against whom it is that we do want to compare ourselves. Ashton is going to go into the subject analysis, which then links into our Autoscholar student tracking program project. And this really just doesn't do justice to the power of this particular tool, but I am telling you it's going to change the way in which we have access to data, to real-time data, and in particular during registration periods where the monitoring, real-time monitoring of what is happening on the ground can really be in the hands of the HODs, the executive deans, program leaders, etc. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay, good afternoon everybody. So I'm going to go into more of the subject results. So we've had a look at what's going on in terms of FTEs and success rates, but what does that mean for us, for the academics, when we actually want to go in and see what are the success rates for the different modules, what are our throughput rates, what's happening live in terms of the data on ITS. And this you can see is actually a dashboard that we've gone and changed and created. So we're building capacity within DUT as well to create our own dashboards and customize and edit. So here we're having a look for 2019. It's 2019 for the first semester for all of the undergraduates. We can now see for each of the faculties what is the exam pass rate, the exam admission rate, the exam distinction rates for those modules that are examinable. We're able to go in and have a look at all of the modules which are examinable and the continuous assessment. What are the average marks that the students are getting? What is their final mark? What is their pass rate? If you can click in, go into it on a departmental level and have a look at the different diplomas which are offered within those departments, and you can get your pass rates, success rates. You're able to click on your dashboards and create your tools, your reports, which will then report all of the information to you. And it is accessing the internet live, so it does seem to be a bit slow. So again, you're able to put your information into graphs, see it graphically, how the success rate has changed, your FTEs, your enrollments. If we wanted to, we could include our second semester just by clicking on it, and now we're looking at the second semester, and you can see because it's accessing live, of course, your success rate has gone down to 0. Why? Because our marks, we're still busy assessing the students. As the student marks get captured, the final marks get processed, so these dashboards will be updated. So, the other thing I wish to talk to you about is Autoscholar. So Autoscholar is what we're going to be using in terms of tracking our students. It's our student tracking system. We'll be able to identify who are the students that need intervention and intervene before they fail the modules. So where we can really make a difference to the students and really get them to pass, get them to graduate when they're supposed to, and supply them with the interventions which they need. So what is Autoscholar? It's artificial intelligence algorithms. It's providing analysis of the large data sets. I think you've just had a snapshot now of how large the RTS database is. And it's auto-generating advice. So where do we sit in terms of the fourth industrial revolution? You can see we're right there in the intersection of your AI and your big data. So for me, Autoscholar really is cutting edge. It's putting DUT in the forefront, where we're being proactive to the sector and the demands that are going on. How does it work? It accesses the information of RTS. It uses those APIs, which are your application program interfaces. Autoscholar does the churning, your machine learning, your artificial intelligence algorithm, and then it feeds the information back to your DUT staff, DUT students in the future, and of course, all with the aim of improving throughput. And again, that's just another diagram of how we see AutoScholar, and for me, Power Heater as well. It's one of the tools that draws from all of this wealth, this big data that we have now in the institution, and ultimately drives student success, where the lecturers and your staff are your agents of change, which are the lubricants within the system. So what is AutoScholar and who is it for? As I said, it securely connects to DUT's ITS database and auto-generates the advice to staff and students. Who can use it? Executives can use it, management can use it because it provides an overview, a helicopter view, and alerts you for any potential areas of improvement or growth. Particularly if you're looking at your curriculum with our new curriculum, where are those bottleneck modules? Can we intervene now and able to identify them now instead of waiting for the first cohort to graduate, and then we see what our throughput rates are. For lecturers and course conveners, they can understand the performance of their own courses, look for areas of improvement, and a very nice one coming through there, you're able to log attendance. I think we all sit with the challenge of trying to log attendance in our lectures and our practicals, and AutoScholar has functionality around this. For academic advisors, it gives you advice in terms of the students for their progression, as well as their progression in terms of the peers. And within the context of holistic student support, students are not having to tell you their story every time they come and see you. You're able to draw that information for yourself and intervene where necessary. Students, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about how students have been engaging with AutoScholar and how we've been piloting it there. And then for accreditation bodies, for EXA, the Engineering Council of South Africa, they're tracking their exit level outcomes using AutoScholar. So students, as well as staff, can see how they're progressing towards achieving the exit level outcomes as required by their accreditation bodies. And there, this is the Me, My World, My Universe module that I lecture, and you can see students there are engaging with their data, with the information with AutoScholar. Their assignments is they have to prove if they're wasting their time. So they're taking analysis, they're generating their own data around what are they spending their time on, which modules are they spending it on, how does that link to their notional hours, what are they spending their time on outside of campus, and look at their academic performance. So if they're spending less time at university and they're passing, then it's up to them to decide if they're wasting time. If they're spending less time at university and they're failing their modules, well, I think we then know the reason why they're failing is because they're not attending class. And it's quite interesting, with the students that I've done this to, all of them have passed 100% of their modules. So the students who are the ones needing the interventions aren't the ones in the lecture venue at the moment. So let's go and have a look at how AutoScholar looks. This is the module that I've got, so this is the landing page. You can see the information about AutoScholar. You can put your course resources there, especially for you as ADPs. You can put information there about how lecturers can improve their scholarship or teaching, resources for them to use. There's a lot of course performance statistics, lecture attendance, logging, as well as analysis. The at-risk student identification, so we can identify early on and intervene. You can look at your assessments, as well as looking at your peer and prior course identification. So you're able to upload here, put on various resources for your lecturers that they would be able to have a look at. You can look at the stats of your modules over time. Again, this is one of the modules which I lecture. You can see the average mark, you can see the mean mark, and of course, why is it sitting at 35% pass rate? Live data off ITS, it's pulling in the registrations from second semester. They're still busy with the module. You can see how it changes over time. You can have a look at your assessment data. This module's got 4 assessments that show you what the averages are, what the means are. You're able to pull up the information per student, how are students doing in their different assignments. Very, very nice one over here where you can actually start to log when are your assignments happening, when are they due, and when are the results meant to be released within 10 working days. So at the moment we don't have this functionality within ITS where we can say when our assignments are going to happen. So this could be a way of capturing it, and you can see I've already done it for my students where 260 of results are already available for those students. And it's just a matter of simply going and selecting your test, giving it a name, when is it due. So very easy, user-friendly interface. For the student's information, which for me is the most powerful, you can see for this module it's gone and identified all of the at-risk students that is determined at risk through the machine learning. Here it's able to draw up information live for the students. These students have taken the module in their first year, second semester, so they've taken 6 modules. They're sitting with 100% pass rate. If I wanted more information, I can go in and click, find the information about the students, look at what their results have been over the different years. And for those of you who've tried to extract this information before off back office, you'll realize that it's a lot easier. You're able to make a much more informed decision now when the student comes to you. And you're able to see how they're doing in your module as well as peer modules, and how they're doing in relation to the other students who are taking the modules, who are taking their program. And you can see it's got all of the students' information there which you'll be able to access. Very important over here around attendance. As I said, you can log your attendance. Is it a lecture? Is it a tutorial? Practical? You'll set it over there. You can set when is it going to happen. Okay, we can add it as an event. And then you'll see it has gone and generated a code of 10 and a PIN of 9192. So students would be able to go in with their cell phones, log into AutoScholar and register themselves as presents. So you could give like a 5-minute window and say, right, during this period, mark yourself present during the lecture. And for those of us who sit with those large 300 students in the lecture venue, this is a very easy, simple way to capture your attendance. And keep track of students. Are they coming to class? Do you need to send them a message to say, why aren't you coming to class? What can we do to get you into the classroom in order to help you to pass and succeed? And you'll see over there in that stall on the side, I'd really like some information in terms of what advice, what words would you use to the students in order to get them to engage and to come to lectures. Be it in English, be it in isiZulu, this auto-generates the advice, but it's up to us to say what that advice should be. And the advice at the moment is fairly technical and statistical and high level. So I'd really like everybody's participation to come up with what are the words that we need to use. We've got the data now, but how can we use the words to make the impact that we want? Okay, thanks very much everybody. We'll both, Prabhashini and myself, will be demonstrating Power Header and AutoScholar through lunch as well as after lunch. So if you do have more questions, you're actually able to come, have a look at it, click around, press some buttons, navigate around, and engage with it. A reminder, please, to do your evaluation forms. Hopefully everybody has an evaluation forms. We're trying to see now what training we need to provide, what is it that you need from us. So we really, really require that information from you. Again, the more data we have, the more informed our progress and our plan can be from here onwards. I think at the moment it is Q&A. We've got a little bit of time for Q&A before we go into your lunch. And Sagan's going to take over. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Ashton. Ladies and gentlemen, we have about 10 minutes for questions. So, do we have another mic? Yeah. Okay, so Nikki's got the mic, so if you can just raise your hand, she'll come to you. And if you can direct your question to a specific person, please do so. Otherwise, I'll try and direct it for you.
Thanks, Steve. I'm very excited. I'm very excited about Power Healer. I think it's looks very user-friendly, and people at various levels will be able to engage with the data. I think that's very exciting. But my question is, does this not raise issues around ethics, especially when we're engaging with data, particularly to our institution, but also other institutions' data as well?
All right, thank you for that. Yeah, can we take the next question?
So my question is really about the training. How are you guys intending to do the training for this system? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? All comments? Okay, I think we'll take those two. No, there's.
Thank you. My question is, will support services be able to access this information? And secondly, what about the integrity of the information taking into consideration the POPI Act?
Okay, thank you.
Well, we make this the last question for this particular round.
Thanks, Becky. Segment of question comments. How will support departments like the Writing Center and the library be able to integrate into the system, into the Autoscholar, so that students are directed to places where they can find help? And well, the comment is that we're very excited about that, would, see a role, see a synergy.
Thank you. Rajan, you will take the first question about ethics.
Thank you, Rosh, for that question. I think the issue of ethics. The information that we'll be providing will be at a very high level, and the information that we've seen from peer data sharing, that's what the information is available at DHET. So everyone that has access to peer data sharing will have access to the entire higher education database for all 26 institutions. So at DUT, we'll be also providing the information at that level. But I think we also need to understand and come up with a policy of what information are we going to put out there for general access and for general consumption. So that is something that we'll have to work within the data working group and with regard to what information goes out for general consumption and what information will be going out to the other executives. So at this point in time, what we've decided that going forward, we only had our training about 2 weeks ago in terms of administrative training. So we're in the process of identifying dates for general user training. So we're hoping to have that sometime in October. And I think I'm answering the second question as well. And so around the middle of October, we should be engaging with user training. And we're also expecting to move forward by meeting with executives to identify what type of dashboards or reporting requirement they would want to have for their sector. So we're trying to personalize dashboards for executives as well.
Rajan, can you just touch on the support services? The support services you can access. Power user. Access to power user support services.
Okay, access to power data, we would provide access, and we will have to determine who gets what access to the data on power data. So we'll be looking shortly, in terms of granting general user access, and then looking at how do we provide access to other more detail of the drill down information.
Has he answered your question? I'm sorry, I don't know you. I forgot your name.
Suri, that was your question. Is that a sufficient answer?
She's talking about POPI.
POPI.
With regards to the POPI Act, the information is not down to student level. It's aggregated at qualification level. I think each head of department or each faculty will have to decide what level of access they would require and how far they will go. So that will take care of the POPI Act. But for those researchers that require the information for their research purposes, they will have to follow the normal channels of going through ethics committee, going to research research and getting approval prior using the data in their studies.
Okay, can I ask somebody to take the question on how other departments' data will be integrated into Power Header?
That will be looking at phase 2, where I think at this point, the focus was on student success. So once we off that down, then we're hoping our next step is to integrate HR data, and thereafter looking at, we've actually developed a data catalog, where we went through the Asia Pumuleta task team workshops, where we identified where the data are sitting across the university. So our next step as phase 2 will be unfolding the data catalog, and we'll try and incorporate data from other data sets.
Thank you, Rajan. If I can just add, Rajan is in the process of meeting with data owners to understand what kind of data that they have and the ways it's stored in different formats. So once that data catalog is ready, I think we can move into phase 2 and start bringing other sources of data into the database. Can I have a next round of questions or comments? Sorry.
Yeah, also just to add, in terms of Power Header, you're sitting with 22 higher education institutions who are currently using it. So within the community of practice, they're also dealing with issues around POPI and access to information. So we won't be responding to it in terms of the DUT, but it would be as a sector. How do we all respond to it? And then, Andrea, in terms of your comment around the synergy, definitely, I mean, at the moment, for me, for AutoScholar, we identify what is the next step, how does the interventions happen, where do the students go to that are identified, where do those messages go, is it an email, is it an SMS, and that's where the next phase around the piloting and that is to figure out what is the best practice to make sure that we have the positive impact that we want to achieve. And it would be working with all of the support services and also around the holistic student support. And we will be workshopping that on the 30th and 31st of October. It would be around discovering more around what is it that we need, how do we design that holistic student support. Now that our data is starting to become integrated, how do we make our support integrated in order to respond to it?
All right. Can I ask, is there any follow-ups to any of those questions? No. Okay. Can we ask more questions?
Thank you. I just want to raise, I think, two issues. One is, I think, with both with Power Header and AutoScholar, the long-awaited platforms. So I'm very thankful that it's finally come to fruition. It's just in terms for both platforms to work efficiently, it has to be a flow of data. The 2 points I'm going to raise is, in order for live data to be live, it has to be captured, it has to flow into the system. And I know I'm glad we're meeting with the executives. I think it is a two-way street, so that's very important. The second point I want to raise is audited data. Very often we have a problem whereby we have to wait for audited data. So for instance, you want to look at the flow of graduates, even postgraduates, post-graduation. And in many cases, to get audited data, you either have to count it or you have to wait for the data to come officially. So I'd like to know, is this system going to resolve this, or do we have to still wait for that moment to come?
Good afternoon. My question, I actually have two questions. First one, it's probably related to the one that is just raised. It's around, when you speak of live data, right, it may mean that the system is running on the ERP itself, right? Or it could mean that there's some download that's happening, and then there would be some gap in between. So if you can maybe explain that, is the system running on live data, so there's no refresh happening between the two systems, right? And the second one is on data governance. They say garbage in, garbage out. And how do we then manage that? Because the quality of data from the source system, and I understand Power Heater is sitting on a data warehouse where there's some sort of ETL happening in the process. So the data quality, does that reside within the Power Heater guys, or it will remain with the data owners? So if you can maybe help.
I think we'll take those two questions.
And shall we perhaps redirect those two questions to ITS?
ITSs.
So Dr. Mchali, if you could talk about data governance, and Ashim, you could talk about the link and the flow. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it is an interesting question because as part of the working group, the first time we ran through the demo, we were looking at putting data from ITS and then the other from MIS. Immediately it was obvious that some of the data was audited and some wasn't. So the group had to go back to the drawing board to see how best to actually represent the data. That we actually present. Because if you're looking at live data, ITS has live data, MIS has audited data. So obviously ITS has to go through the ETL process to cleanse and do all of those kind of issues. So I'm not sure in terms of the group what we've decided whether upfront we will show the audited data and then behind the scenes run the live data through the audit process that's automated. I'm not sure. But yeah, it is something that we're actually aware of. And then on the data quality, there's also something that we're aware of as if you look at some of the raw data itself, and you may look at is there missing data, if you're doing calculations or just predictions on that, we have to take into account that the data itself may have some of those issues. What was the other question?
I think it's for Shane in terms of the flow of data.
Oh, okay.
So the data warehouse has a direct hook into the ITS database. There's a view that's created on ITS, and the data warehouse integrates everything. So the data is live.
Okay, then in terms of student question in terms of the flow of data, Rajan will take that one.
Okay, Prof. Singh, I think for you, the audited data will be available as soon as we make our submissions to DHET. Once you sign up for the auditor, you'll pick it up live from our leader. But I think the other, just to make a comment, all MI information for historical years will be audited data that will be on the system on our leader. And all information that is live will be directly from ITS, which will be for the current reporting year. So you've got historical right up from 2000 right until 2018 on audited data from the higher education database, and you'll have live data directly from the ITS for current reporting year. And just to mention, over and above all the data that's available from ITS, we're currently working with students. We're hoping to move to HR quite shortly. And thereafter, there's other modules within Power Heater. If the other department would like to focus on, they've got the finance module, and we've got quite a bit of other modules that we want to incorporate in Power Heater. But I think the benefit for DUT is that we have a warehouse, we can integrate it from various sources, and we can report on those data, either EMAS or live from ITS. And there's also the availability of data from peer data sharing, where you've got access to all the other institutions' information, and you can benchmark with the grouping that you would like to select. And finally, as well, just to mention, on the HIDA Online, you have access to the SAT and performance indicator profile. They started this process from 2009, where they have data right up to 2016, and you can look at how DUT is faring with the other UOTs in the UOT sector.
Okay, thank you, Rajan. I think we'll have to end it there, otherwise I'm going to be going into your lunchtime. So I have the pleasure and the honor of doing the vote of thanks. But before that, I've been telling you, I've been doing a little bit of data collection while I've been sitting here. And today the word excitement was used 10 times by speakers, either the word exciting or exciting. So these are really exciting times at DUT. I also was counting the number of people that were asleep during the presentation. So I've got lots of rich data and I can share with you a bit later. So firstly, I just want to say thank you to Prof. Mutembo for being here today and any other executives that are here. And secondly, I think the Power Healer implementation team, I think they deserve a round of applause. And thirdly, I think the institutional planning office has really done a remarkable job in putting in an event like this. It's really these type of events that allow us to start thinking differently, create opportunities for sharing and definitely networking. And a lot of people that walked around and picked up ideas. And next year, if we do this, I can see us having big monitors like that instead of data projectors. Finally, I just want to say to all the support divisions that have assisted, maintenance, AV, thanks guys for coming, and other divisions that have made this event possible. I think thank you. I just gave what we call Ku, just to tell us what the takedown procedure is. Yes. Sorry, I should have told you.
Okay, guys. Yes, again, a big thank you to all the exhibitors who, made the time and put in the time, and energy, and effort for really creative, exciting exhibits. We thank you for that. In terms of the takedown, the stands companies are due to arrive on site at 3 o'clock. Now, we had hoped to have AV do some videotaping, and you're just talking a little bit about your exhibit, so I don't know if we're still going to be able to do that between now and when they come. And we also wanted to open the exhibition day to the general public, at around 2:30. But let's just see how it goes. But 3 o'clock, the stand company will be here, so you need to actually have your stuff taken down by 3 o'clock because they will then come to display.